We live? I'm not in a super talkative mood. I just want to beat this game. I want to get through it. Till I beat it. I'm always thinking about it. I'm like, man, how am I going to do this? We're going to do some backtracking. I'm at plenty high enough level to be able to beat this boss. Both of them. Maybe not Yellow Long. Probably Yellow Long too. I just need to get good. But I'm going to go back. Where am I going? Some forest. We're going to listen to this debate though. This is JP Unchained. Cleave to Antiquity. I feel like I've watched a debate on this channel with him or on another channel. I think I've seen him before. Trent Doherty, I have no idea who that is. Danny is the Danny who got popular for kind of roasting Jordan Peterson. Well, I don't know if I'm a Christian. I've never said it. I've never actually said it. I used to do more of a Kermit. Well, you know, Kermit the Frog, Peterson says. So I'm going to backtrack. I knew there was this quest, and I went to do it one night. And then I couldn't find the dude, so I never pursued it. So, and this is a boss that gives us a good skill. So, the green-caped martialist. Some Indian guy tell me how to do it really fast. What am I going to do? Fairy Forest? We're going to chapter 3. Forest of Felicity. I did just run through this area. I remember when I did this area, I just ran through this whole ice area. I did not want to play in the ice. So I'm going to play the debate. And we're going to go to chapter 3.
God of the Bible. That's going to be...
Yeah, they're debating, do Muslims and Christians believe in the same God? Because there's been a big drama, and all the Christian channels are talking about it. Just because Jay Dyer mentioned it once in the debate. And, but maybe they made a recent decision about it, so it like... I don't know if the new Pope made a recent decision about it or what, but they've all been talking about it, that the Catholic doctrine somewhere at Vatican II, they basically made it doctrine. Well, I don't know if it's doctrinal, but I've heard some Catholics argue that it's not a doctrinal thing. It's just but anyway, it's the idea that God of the Abraham, the father of Abraham is the same God that the Muslims and the Jews and the Christians. And I think it's actually a little more vague than that. It kind of just says, if you're seeking God and it's the God of Abraham, then it's the right way to Jesus. I don't know, but they'll explain it more. But Danny's an atheist who I don't even think he knows what he's talking about. I don't know. You'll see. I've only watched 2 minutes of this, and I guess the intros are like a minute 30 seconds intros.
That issue, man. But okay, so we're live. I just saw it on the YouTube website. All right, so we're live. So the rules are going to be very basic and very
Tell
simple.
me if the game audio is too loud.
You have brother Ben.
Which boss are you talking about? I can give you directions. I'm trying to beat the Scorpion King
Muslims
first.
Worship the same God
Scorpion
of the
Lord.
Bible. That's going to be the topic here today.
Scorpion Lord. But right now I'm going to go back and do the green capped martialist. So I got to fast travel real quick. Where are we going? Fairy Forest? Something forest. We're running through the ice to find the green-hatted martialist. But don't tell me how to beat him, because I've never fought him, and I think I'll whoop his ass. I think I'm about to whoop his ass. We'll see. And I haven't watched a walkthrough of the boss yet. I'm just trying to get to him, because I got the Ring of Fire. I talked to him by the wall. And then I went back to the wall a couple days later, and he wasn't there. But now I know where he is. Black Myth throws this at you, like random little like characters that just jump all over the map with no real description of where they went. All right.
Danny, Trent believe that is the case. Ben and I believe that is not the case. We're going to go really briefly into what we believe, and then right away we're just going to start talking about this because I know Trent.
And then I need to go fight the sword guy. I figured out a way to beat him.
And then after this show, Danny and I are going to do an after show where you guys can come and talk to us directly. So with that said, Danny, go ahead. Just if you want, just a couple of minutes, and we'll keep it pushing from there. So go ahead.
Right. So I actually think
trying to find two towers. Listen to this opening.
Believe that if God exists, that Muslims and
this
Jews
is actually a clever argument.
Thing. It's actually kind of rare that atheists would even utter.
So the atheist is arguing, yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same to me.
Gods, right. Most atheists would probably say they worship the same God. They just have a different take on that kind of being, right? When I'm an ex-Christian, when I encountered Muslims, right, when they said, "May God bless you," right, I thought they were talking about the same thing as me, although I thought their description of God was totally inaccurate, right? Also, as an atheist, I believe that Jesus exists. You believe, as I think the rest of the other three here believe that Jesus exists, but I don't think Jesus is God, right? I think Jesus is a finite being. He died and is no longer exists, right? Does that suddenly mean that we're talking about two different beings, right? No, I think a lot of people need to understand that Trent and I's position is that just because there are two different descriptions of one thing doesn't mean that we're talking about two different things, or even if those descriptions are mutually exclusive, right? So this is presumably not a debate where I'm defending an exclusive Catholic position. My view is that whether you're Catholic, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're an atheist, agnostic, I think you ought to believe that Muslims, Christians, and Jews all worship
maybe he's Catholic.
The same being.
Thank you for that, Danny. Go ahead, Cleve. So what do we believe?
Sure. So I mean, we would hold that Muslims and Christians.
Oh yeah, and he was 20 atheists versus one Christian.
Reject the Trinity, who is my God, then you do not have the same God as me. If you reject Jesus Christ as divine, as
green-hatted
martialist, then you do not worship the same God as me. We could be referring
you little
to
ninja jumping out on me
person, but if you reject his divinity, then by its very nature, you're not worshiping the same God as me. I would argue the same thing for anybody who willfully rejects.
I'm looking for the two towers, and the dude's gonna be sitting there, and I got to do Ring of Fire.
The basic position there.
All right, so now we're here. So do you guys want to ask us a question, or how are we gonna bowl this out? You know, because we're winging it here. This is informal. You know what I'm saying? No moderators.
You guys.
Did I get turned around?
Danny and Ben kept it admirably brief. I've got my little lap counter to make sure that I don't talk too long on anything, and that I keep it.
What's the time limit for the opening? He did a minute and a half.
There's just some real confusions about the nature.
He did 2 minutes.
Language and worship. And so I think that the idea that one word that you said in there, Ben,
I don't think I ever came down here.
And I don't necessarily disagree with
therefore
everything you said. I just disagree with the kind of like the therefore part. Paul, for example. So here's the inference was: if somebody doesn't believe that God is triune,
I need to switch stances more often too. I never switch stances.
Referring to a different God. They're not naming the same God, and that just doesn't follow. It doesn't follow philosophically. It doesn't follow linguistically, biblically, or anything.
Oh shit! We
so
got a little bow and arrow guy.
Paul. Like Paul, when he was Saul, in the scriptures, it says he was.
Pull those up, by the way.
Sure, I think I've got it in some notes.
Yeah, Trent, you're not gonna want to do that because you're on an iPad, and if you pull anything up or you go anywhere else, your iPad's gonna shut down. For example, we can't see you now.
You can't see me now. That's very sad. Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just come to this?
Go ahead and make your point, Trent. It's all good.
Yeah, if you want, I can pull them up for you.
I mean, it's Acts 22. I'm just thinking about this. It's not like a big passage or anything. It just talks about Paul being full of zeal for God when he was a persecutor of the Christians. So I think Paul was he was super smart, very well educated. He was actually kind of a philosopher trained by Gamaliel. Tarsus was
Am I
a
going the
Stoic
right way?
university town. He shows excellent familiarity with Stoic sources and Greek philosophy.
I don't know where I
sources
fought the
generally.
ice frog. What up, Brandon?
So I think he very clearly understood what the Christians were claiming before he was a Christian.
That's gonna be
and he's described as having great.
that's gonna be JP's argument, and I don't know, I can't remember his partner's name, but that's gonna be their argument that it's not the same God, because if we have different descriptors of this God, then it can't be the same God. Or yeah, he's by. I don't remember where I killed the frog. It's called the Two Towers or something Towers. But this video's telling me where to go, but I don't know why you wouldn't just go, because he runs by that altar too, or that shrine. I don't know why you don't just go send me there. Maybe he's assuming I haven't got it yet, because in the video he doesn't got it yet. Okay, he finds this one. You got the big. Come on, go faster. He's playing it in like 5x. He had to get the shrine. I already got the shrine. I should go heal though. Ring of Fire. I already got that. Oh, do I have to set it at the shrine? And he should be chilling right up here, on a stump or something. But I need to go heal.
Zeal for God, even when he was a persecutor of the Christians and was denying the divinity of Christ, and certainly would have denied the Trinity.
When I heal, that dude's gonna come back.
To me, that's a clear counterexample to the inference pattern. If X does not believe that
Oh, he's
God
right
is
there. I see
triune,
him.
then X is believing in a different God. Because Paul, after
Yep.
all,
Sure.
He's disagreeing with
believed in-
that.
presumably, I mean, it's.
So yeah, I get your I get your
yeah.
point. I get your point here, Trent. So you're trying to argue that the
He's arguing
words
Paul
that he
didn't
had a
believe in the
zeal
Trinity.
for God somehow indicate that he's saying that those who
I have
Jesus
seen this
Christ
guy
are
debate
worshiping
before.
the same God. But if you were to take Paul's same words in other instances, referencing individuals and groups that do not worship the same God, he actually says that the sacrifices of pagans are sacrifices to demons. Elsewhere in the scripture, I mean, we can pull that up here, but I'm sure you're familiar with the passage there. In the Old Testament, it says the gods of the nations are actually demons. So, I mean, if you were to
Oh, I gotta
willfully
set the
reject
spell.
God, willfully reject
I don't have
Jesus
Ring of
Christ
Fire.
as being divine, I mean, you're arguing that full of zeal
I mean, I have it, but I
somehow
don't have it.
implies that full of zeal for God somehow implies that he's actually worshiping the one true God in that instance in his willful rejection, which is later corrected when Christ appears to him in the desert and says, "Why are you persecuting me?" And then he accepts him. But you're to argue
So
that
I have to give up
that
immobilize and fight
somehow,
this guy? That sucks.
in opposition of all of his other statements, shows that he's worshiping the one true God even when he's in opposition. I would say that's
Well, that's-
contradictory to the rest of his statements.
So in a logic class, which I've taught for 25 years probably, that would be called the fallacy of the complex question.
I said it.
It's kind of like, have you stopped beating your wife? If you say yes, then it implies that you did, and if you say no, it implies that you still are. So I reject the notion that Paul makes any statements opposed to that or contradictory to that in any way, because after all, Paul's statements that people worship demons is totally consistent with the fact that they also worship the one true God. After all, we have examples of this in the Old Testament where the Israelites who worship the one true God at times also, unfortunately, added worship of false gods that are in many cases demons. So there's another logical non sequitur. So the second non sequitur that you
So-
can is
so
if X. Nope.
to
I'm gonna
hold-
finish. The second non sequitur is that if X worships demons, then X does
We
not
give him
also
fire
worship
and he
the
tries
one
to
true
fight
God.
us?
That is a known non sequitur. Doesn't follow.
In order to hold to your position, you would have to hold that people worship demons and God simultaneously, but you cannot have two masters according to the scripture. So you
Not
just
masters.
disproved yourself.
Not masters. But
Well,
you
if
can
you're
worship the two
worshiping
things at one
something,
time.
if you're worshiping something, do you make that your master?
No.
No.
I guess I
can you
should
prove
go.
that to me via the scripture?
Well, like for instance,
You
a
can
lot of
pull up a I just say you pull up the
The
dictionary.
cold bites all
Well,
around.
they're people. For
without
instance, my
your
wife
powerful
and her
spells.
family, we offered
There's no
when
way
we
I
went to
can
China,
find
we
it.
offered worship to her ancestors, right? But
Someone once saw
my
a
wife would
chubby
never
boy jump from
say
the
that.
cliff with a
You know,
watermelon
they,
in
they
his
have a
arms.
shrine and we poured,
He
you know,
rushed
his
to the edge
favorite
of the cliff,
beer,
but
my
saw
gra-
no
his her
movement.
grandfather's favorite beer all over his
Seemed like
grave.
certain
It was a
death.
kind of worship, but they would never say that
He heard
the
the boy laughing
ancestors
from
are or
beneath.
the
Yeah,
On and
Danny, just
on.
real quick, just for some
He wondered, he
clarification here,
fled
just so
from
we
the
don't miss
cliff.
each other. The type of worship that you give a deity
This
is not
story
the
may
same
offer a
worship you
clue
would
for
give
my
your
treasure
aunt.
hunt.
So what Ben here is
Maybe the
saying very
watermelons were
clearly
planted under
is
the
that if you're worshiping a demon, right,
Don't
it's
let me
not
keep
like
you,
you
sir.
worshiping your aunt.
I will leave by
Therefore, if
myself
you're
when I
worshiping a
feel
demon
new
in
enough.
place of God, you're not worshiping the true God, you're worshiping a
Wait,
demon.
are y'all suggesting that you can't worship multiple things at once?
Well, if
This
Yeah, you
story
can't
may offer a
serve
clue for my
two
treasure
masters. I mean, you're
I
really
think I just
you're either
challenged
him.
you're
Masters
either
that were
worshiping the
planted
one
under-
true
Don't let
God
me
or
keep
you're
you. I
worshiping
will leave
demons.
by myself.
You
The
can't
mas-
worship both at the same time.
Them-
So your
Well,
position
don't
is
let
that you
me
can't
keep
worship
I don't just
multiple
fight
things
him
at
now?
once.
I thought I
Not
get
in the true sense.
transported.
No, there's one true
True
God, so you can't worship a false god and the one true
Hold
God
up.
at the same time.
now, Danny, let me be very clear.
The
since
Israelites actually did that.
well, let
right?
me respond to Danny.
Well,
real
you can say from a material sense, but in the actual sense, no, absolutely
What-
not.
what-
When they're
what are these senses?
worshiping the golden calf, for instance, would you say that they're worshiping the one true God at the golden calf?
You want to see a map?
What did God say in response to them there?
He rebuked them because they shall be no other gods before me, which is in fact an affirmation that they were putting up gods next to God and worshiping them at the same time.
Hmm.
And God
Well-
Where am I going? What locations do you want to see? Go to a shrine. Let me see the images of the location. Of chapter 3. Towers of Karma. See, I knew I was going to the towers. Why didn't I just fast travel to the dang towers? I gotta go find a baby with a watermelon.
Let's go. We're gonna go back at our Forest of Felicity location, and now we have to find a new checkpoint. So let's go.
A checkpoint. If it's already a shrine, I got it. Just where's the shrine at? I swear, if this guy finds a new shrine. Watermelon field. Duh. I'm so blind. It's watermelon field. We gotta go find the baby. Right? Where we fought the frog. He's going to the frog place. Oh yeah, I found this place and I was like, what is this empty place? This is a perfect place for a boss fight. And I was walking around in it. I was like, what happens here? I knew something would happen here.
Again, I tested you.
The baby. I always
And
wonder
I
what
saw
happened to this
nothing
damn
but
baby, the
gullible
little fat guy.
goodness.
Dude, we gave
Our
you
brother
fire.
does misjudge as well. It requires no effort to trick you. You will never be the destined one. Let me help you end your sorry life.
I could have switched back to immobilize. Oh, you long range. I'm in it. Holy shit. Oh, why is my computer's doing too much right now? He's wiping out all my dudes. Is he in that ring? What the fuck? Wait, what am I doing? What am I attacking?
Hardly a fair fight.
What is this guy? I don't understand what's happening in this fight. I understand one thing, I'm getting my ass whooped. I don't have anything to attack. Ah, dude. Dude, his timing is so weird. Way late, way late. I don't know why I'm not healing. I forgot to heal. I'm trying to figure this dude out, but I forgot to heal. Yeah, you get, yeah, what is it called? Spirit Lock or something? Oh, good. I don't have to run all the way back. That was garbage. I need to mobilize. Where's that shrine at? Oh, I got teleported here, didn't I? Damn, I should have got immobilized beforehand. So I can't set my cells or my spells unless I'm at a what's it called, right?
If you have news, bring them on.
I don't know. See, I keep trying to do immobilize. I don't have it. There's a shrine to my right?
And bravery without a plan.
Oh, I thought I got... Cameras. Weird. Bitch! Sit the fuck down.
Hitting your stride, are you? Let's stoke the fire.
Oh, there's two of them now. That means I heard him. Ah, you got me at the end there. You got me at the end there, buddy. Woo! You wanna go? Oh, you're golden now. I can do tricks too, bitch. I need to heal. Ah! Now heal. He's almost dead. Poke him up. Oh, you like that, huh? You're dead. Nope. Now you're dead. Gotcha, bitch.
Foolhardy, nothing more.
Let him
I've
kill
done as
you.
our brother asked.
Why would I let him
Till
kill
we
me?
meet again.
Okay. Now, sword tiger. Never mind. Yeah. That felt good. I feel like I fucked. I feel like I kind of fucked that guy up. Now we gotta fight Big Tiger Sword guy at the village. But I watched something that showed me a trick. We're gonna try it. It might not work. But immobilize does not work on that guy. So I can turn off immobilize. And it just is a spirit I can try using. I'm gonna use Azure Mist and my monkeys and just stand back and let other stuff attack him and attack him when I'm safe.
You won't find those noisy chantings.
I can't immobilize him.
Screamings here.
And you don't want to get close to him.
A nice ripe melon.
It's that kid with the big head. They called me Jughead when I was a kid.
Want a bite? It's better than you think. Sun Wukong used it to trick that disciple of mine. Come. Come closer. Now you've found this place, I'll teach you a trick neither of them knows. Your hand.
Spellbinder. Bind spells, vessels, transformations, and souls skills to enhance attack, focusing solely on martial arts to subdue enemies. I don't know what that means. What that means, I just do melee?
Spellbinder. It hurts no foe but binds yourself. You'll come to understand its use. An old friend of Sun Wukong came to me, wanting some peace. I led him to the Great Pagoda. Have you paid him a visit? They say you are the destined one. But if destiny is set, what difference do our actions make?
Based. Nice. Okay, can I just fast travel out of here? I don't gotta go do nothing else.
Would you
One
say that
being
there's
next to
actually
any other
more than one
gods.
god, though, Trent? Would you say there's actually more than one god, though?
No.
Yeah,
That's
there's
my
one.
point.
There's one true god,
That's my
and there's
point.
demons.
That's right.
If
And
we
there's
were
also
to-
when they're-
flowers and trees
When
and-
they're worshiping a
reindeer.
demon in the form of an idol at the golden calf, are they worshiping the one true god in that instance?
There's no shrine out here. There's nothing out here.
in that exact instance, let's admit it. Are you worshiping God?
Oh.
Let's say you're having. Are you married?
Well, just answer the one question there. If they're
No.
worshiping
No,
if they're
I'm not
worshiping the
gonna
golden
answer-
calf,
I'm not going to answer a gotcha question.
well, because
Are
you know
you-
because you know
No,
it defeats your position.
No, because I'm too good for that. Are you worshiping God right
You're
now?
you're too
I'm
good
way-
to
I'm way
answer
too
the
good for that.
question about worshiping the golden
I'm too
calf.
good to be tricked. I'm too good to be tricked.
To
So
be
are you
tricked,
worshiping
but this
God-
is your own.
Yeah.
This is your
So
own position.
When you're eating a salad, and you're really focused on that salad, are you also worshiping God at that moment?
When I'm in the act of worship, I'm either worshiping the one true God or I'm not.
What is this Trent guy even arguing? He's,
Why?
I'm either
They're not
worshiping
the
the
same
one true
God if
God
you're
or I'm
worshiping
worshiping
a demon.
So, like for instance, in the example that I brought
Isn't-
up that you refused to answer with the golden calf,
Danny's
you're
not
worshiping
following.
the one true God in that
Let's,
instance.
let's reset. There's a reason why
you're
Trent brought up Acts 22. You made an inference that if you don't understand God as triune, you're
What say
worshiping
you,
a
brave
different
one?
being. Acts 22 is a counterexample because Saul, who
I
became
don't have
Paul,
enough mind cores.
did not understand God as triune.
I have
Yet
0.
Acts
Didn't I
22
just get
affirms
some?
that he was worshiping God, right? It's just a counterexample to your argument.
Well, that's your claim. He says, "I have zeal for God." You would have to hold that in isolation from all of the other statements that he makes that says that if you reject Christ as divine, you're not worshiping the same God. You're not worshiping God at all, actually.
Does Acts 22
In the Bible actually, Danny, actually very specifically says that if you reject Christ, you don't have God as your father.
let's just focus
devil
on
as
Acts
your father.
22, 1 through 5. Does Acts 22, 1 through 5 affirm that Saul does in fact have zeal for the one true God?
Right?
And if you were to take it the way that you're taking it out of context,
I'm asking you.
in rejecting all of his other statements, no, that's not what it's implying.
I mean, it's just there is no implication. It's just a sentence. He was filled with zeal for God, and that's true,
Is that a
right?
false statement? Is that a false statement, please?
That he was
Or is
filled
it
with
true?
zeal for God.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, he feels that he is worshiping God, right? Everybody feels like they're worship. Everybody in any system
But it
is
doesn't
going to
say
claim that they're worshiping the same God or the one true God.
The scriptures don't say that he felt that way. Do you think Paul was mistaken? Look, can we put the scripture back up there again?
I don't. You added the word feel.
Do you think that he contradicts himself in Romans 1, where he specifically states that those that are worshiping other gods are not actually worshiping God?
It's more likely that you're misinterpreting those verses.
That's right. I believe that you're
no,
misinterpreting.
I would say if you're taking one verse and making your entire theology off of your misrepresentation of this one verse, then you're probably wrong about it. Especially if you're unwilling to look at the other instances in which he says the exact opposite of what you're trying to impute onto him here.
Let's go one by one.
I would have not anticipated that the Christian would twist scripture. You added the word feel. Is the word feel in Acts 1 through 22, 1 through 5? Is the word feel in there?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You said that he felt like he had zeal. You added the scripture.
Let me say something real quick, Danny, because I think we're getting a little out of hand here. So let me bring some clarity here. The scripture clearly says that Paul was a Jew. Okay? So we do
There's
know
also
that Jews
something over
had
here.
some revelation of the true God because God did reveal himself to the Jews. Now the issue at hand is going to become when you say Muslims have the same God, because we can say that Jews, specifically in the Old Testament and even in the New Testament when they're talked about, there is some level of revelation that they had, because in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, it is known that God revealed himself to the Jews. Where it gets difficult, and I'm going to let you cook in a moment, Trent, where it gets difficult and complicated and where we cannot say anything regarding that is with Muslims, because Yahweh never revealed himself to Muslims.
Doesn't this lead to something?
To Jews. Therefore, I would say Muslims have another God.
Do me a favor, JP. Do me a favor, JP. Can you pull up Romans 1:21? And I want to read a couple of verses there.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
Just so we can see the counter statement of Paul in the instance of those who are basically rejecting the one true God. They're rejecting Christ's divinity. No, pull up the full chapter, because I'm going to read a couple of verses there.
All right. Starting from where?
21, please.
All right.
What verse?
What is a spell?
All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
If all those things,
for although they knew God,
just said
they neither
two
glorified
opposite
him as
things.
God nor gave thanks to him. So, for although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. But their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images to be made like a mortal human being and birds and animals and reptiles. This is the example of the golden calf, which you refused to answer earlier, Trent, and the other statements by Paul, specifically stating that if you reject Christ's divinity, if you reject the Trinity, if you reject who the one true God is, you're not actually worshiping the one true God. You're exchanging the truth for a lie. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God.
This proves the opposite of your point. You realize that, right? This is literally the opposite of your view.
So the opposite of my view, for although they knew God, they didn't honor him as God or give thanks to him, saying that they're not actually worshiping God.
So this does not mean that every single person who ever lived didn't worship God, because then it applies to the Jews. So it doesn't
He
fight
said
every-
into the leaves.
His
Every
point
single
here-
person who ever lived didn't worship God. What are you talking about?
Your argument depends on reading a universal generalization instead of a generic statement.
For those who reject the one true God, which Trent, you're a Christian, right? Is your God Jesus Christ?
Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior.
Okay. Is the Trinity your God as well?
God is triune.
Okay. So the Trinity is your God. Jesus is your God. If I were to take a Muslim and take him back to the crucifixion, let's say we hopped into a time machine, and I were to point up at Jesus Christ on the cross and ask him, "Is that your God?" What do you think he would say to you?
It's utterly irrelevant what he was doing. It's such a silly question.
Why is that?
does it
Why is that
matter?
irrelevant? You used in your previous discussion, you used a Superman argument in which someone was confused about the identity of Superman. Well, Lois maybe he has the glasses
precisely-
on, he takes it off, or
Precisely to
whatever the case may be.
Precisely to illustrate that somebody's misunderstanding of the person in no way blocked their ability to denote that person. You're literally getting
Okay.
everything backwards. So,
So if that is the case, Trent, and what I'm saying is if somebody willfully rejects
Fuck, I almost said
God,
it.
Jesus Christ, who is my God, which is why I use the example of going to the time where Jesus Christ is on the cross, pointing up to Jesus and saying, "Is that your God?" The entire reason I bring that to your attention is to show you that when you actually have God in front of you and you're rejecting who He is, you can no longer claim ignorance in that instance. Jesus Christ
actually-
revealed Himself to us.
that's
The Quran, Islam
Yeah, that's
is
the second
predicated
into
on
the
the
leaves.
rejection of Jesus Christ's divinity and the rejection of the Trinity. Therefore, they
You know-
cannot be worshiping the same God as us.
you know what else is predicated on that? Ben? Paul's zeal when he was Saul. Let's go back to that verse.
Do you think the Old Testament
Why-
Jews
why-
did not
why
worship
are
the
you-
Trinity in type?
Why are you so
That was
avoidant
bad.
of addressing this Pauline?
Immobilize
Why
doesn't
is
work
this
on
such
him
a
at
threat?
all.
What do you mean? I've literally just addressed it. I've read other citations
No.
from Paul showing that you're misinterpreting the text.
No,
I want to analyze.
He's not making a statement to say that if you reject Jesus, you're still worshiping the same God.
Well,
Is that
I
what you
wanna
think
an-
Paul is saying here?
Well, I want to
Right.
analyze your inference, right? Are you saying that if someone misdescribes something that you believe in, that therefore they can't be talking about the same thing? Is that your
No,
argument?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Okay,
saying if you
so
reject
then,
who someone
then it doesn't
is,
follow. So then it
Sounded
doesn't
like it.
follow. So then it doesn't
Well,
follow.
this is-
So then it doesn't follow that if someone thinks your God is not triune, it doesn't follow therefore that they're talking about something different. If
well, the
they're
Trinity is not a description of God; it's who God is.
triune is a description.
right.
The Trinity is who God is.
Okay, but if I say, or rather, if a Muslim says God is not triune, so then you would agree that they could be talking about the same thing you are when you say God is triune.
If you're talking about Jesus Christ, who is divine, you're talking about the Trinity. You reject those two things.
Yes or no
You're not
question.
worshiping the same God.
It's a yes or no question. Do you remember? I'll repeat the question. So if you agree with me, okay, yeah, Danny, it doesn't follow that if you're misdescribing something, that therefore you're not talking about something different, right? Then you would agree that
That doesn't follow that just because they think they have the same referent that they're actually referring to the same person.
That's not what he said. That's
I'm
not what he
what I'm saying.
said
So
at
let's go
all.
over it again.
You're saying that they can have like maybe descriptions or something wrong. The Trinity's not a
No,
description
no,
of
no,
God.
no,
It's
you're
God.
not getting it. You're not getting it. So let me repeat it, right? We agree then that.
How did
if
he
a
win
Muslim
that? I thought he
says,
sharpened his sword
God
for a
is
minute.
not triune. That's not a sufficient condition for thinking that they're referring to something different when they're talking about God. Then we agree, right?
Yeah. Can I say something real quick?
That's an important question, though. I want
Yeah,
to
it is an important question, but let me add to this. I think it's important to realize the scenarios, right? If you have somebody
right when he did
somewhere
Into the
that
Leaves.
doesn't know any better, they grew up in a cave and they don't know any better, perhaps there could be some grace. But if there's somebody that rejects the truth and living God, and they have another God described in their book, you see, the Bible tells us what God is and what God is not. So if their description is what God says, or what I would say what the Bible says God is not, then I would say that's a different deity. The Trinity is a component, but I would say that if their God is not a father and the God of the Bible is a father, I would say that that is an example of
Okay. Okay.
Well,
so
well, this is-
Paul
Go
when
ahead.
he was
Go ahead, John.
persecuting the Christians, when Paul was persecuting the Christians, the zeal that he had for God was the zeal for the one true God. Correct?
Is that the only argument you have, Trent? Because every other verse in which he talks about people who reject Jesus Christ's divinity, he says you're not worshiping the same God. You're actually worshiping a demon.
We can go through them one by one. We can go through them one by one. But what's not going to happen with this guy?
This dude is
push
tough.
me off
So do you just have
Square
one
one.
verse, Trent?
So
Do you just have one verse to back your
one
position?
verse to start with, and I will go one by one by one. Every
So-
verse you want to go.
So let me
what's not gonna
ask you a
happen
question.
is
Since
you're not gonna
since you're
push me off
saying,
square one. That's not going to
Trent,
happen.
Trent,
True or false?
let me ask you
was
a
Paul's
question.
Zeal
No,
in
your
that
interpretation
verse,
of that
zeal
verse
for
is
the true
incorrect.
God?
I've already proven that. With
Oh,
Romans
my
1.
spell
That's a
hasn't
yes or
even
no
re.
question. Was Paul's zeal in that
I'm not
verse
going to get trapped
for the one
in
true
words
God?
with your nonsense, Trent.
Okay.
No,
notice
your
everybody
interpretation
listen.
your interpretation of that verse is incorrect.
Everybody listen.
Look, this
Notice
is
that
this
you
is the
cannot-
thing.
The simplest verse, and you
Dude,
can't even talk
you
about it.
literally refused to answer my question about the golden calf because you know it's a defeater for you.
No, because you have you are.
Are you
not
able to
distinguishing
answer it, or are you just trying to run from every question that I pose?
No. What I'm saying. we're
Because
gonna
I
go in
because
order.
I
We're gonna
answered
go in
your
order.
question already. You just
answer
want to
my
go back to it
question,
and beat the dead
and
horse.
then I'll answer yours. But we're gonna start with mine.
I already
Because
answered your question, Trent. I already answered it with Romans 1, which actually
No.
which
My
actually lists
question is a yes
which
or no
actually
question. Was
which
Paul's
actually
zeal
lists
Guys,
for
which
the
actually
one true God?
lists
It's
the
yes or no
ramifications for holding your type of theology,
question.
Trent.
Yes or no question. Yes or no?
Look,
Was
I'm
Paul's
saying
zeal
your
for the one true
interpretation
God?
of that verse is incorrect.
No, I didn't mention anything about interpretation. I'm just asking you, was Paul's zeal in that verse for the one true God?
Trent, what
Yes or
you're
no?
he is not
What is
saying that if you
Spellbinder
even
reject
doing?
God,
Making me
if you
stronger?
reject Jesus Christ as God, that you're worshiping the one true
Doesn't
God.
seem like
Cleve,
it.
why are
Your
you having-
conclusion
you
is
didn't
false.
answer my, Cleve, you didn't answer my yes
Heal.
or no question. You're not answering Trent's.
Look,
I'm not
Look,
even doing
I've
a lot of
already
damage
answered that
to
by
him.
showing that you're taking.
All right,
this
did you
verse
answer
out of
yes or
context.
no? Did you answer
Look,
yes or
this
no?
is the thing. Let me speak. If you were to actually look through Romans 1, it actually lists the ramifications for holding your type of theology, Trent.
What does that have to do with his yes or no question?
Are you aware of that? Because it actually refutes your position.
Are you aware it's a yes or no question?
Yeah, I'm
And you
aware
have-
it's a yes or no question.
Sorry,
Why
what?
won't you answer it yes or no?
Because your question is based off of a false premise.
What is
that
his
your
question? Cleve?
interpretation
Are
is
you even
correct.
listening?
Oh, but yours isn't?
You're saying did he actually have true zeal for God? I'm saying that in his Jewish belief, right? So everybody has a belief. If you are in a religion, you think you're worshiping the one true God. So he's saying, I have zeal for God in that instance. Now he's in a transitionary period from the Old Testament Jewish faith in which he's persecuting Jesus Christ. But guess what happens when Jesus actually reveals himself to him? He submits himself to him. He submits himself to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Which guess what?
Oh,
Which guess
shit.
what? In your Superman analogy that you're using earlier, Clark Kent takes off the glasses. If Lois were to actually say, you know what? Actually, I'm not referring to that same Superman. I'm actually talking about Bizarro. It would be evident that she's not referring to the same person, which is the case with the Muslims.
Except that Paul didn't do that. So let's stick with Paul. And Paul's zeal.
Except that Paul didn't do that when he saw Jesus
How did I
Christ
not
reveal
dodge
himself
that?
in front of him. He submitted to him because Jesus Christ revealed himself to be God.
So here's the difference. I think Danny and I.
So you're
about
saying that
general
in
rules and
his ignorance of his divinity, in his ignorance of Jesus Christ's divinity,
I'm not even getting
that
close.
he's stating that
I've
he's
gotten
worshiping the
close
one true
before
God,
on
that
this
he
guy,
has
though.
zeal for God, right? Rather, which is the actual word that he's saying.
I
That
think
when he
I need
actually
to-
reveals himself, it's not significant that he submits himself to him. Now, Jesus
he
Christ
says
has
that.
revealed himself to man, but Muslims willfully reject him still today, even after his death and resurrection,
But that would
and
only
after
be,
he's revealed himself to them.
But that would only be relevant if you could not inadvertently worship what you have explicitly rejected. But we know that that's false.
So all right. So
We know that's
in
false.
your previous.
The lowest.
Okay,
the-
well,
Why
that's
is
your
he-
assertion. Prove your point.
Well, my assertion is based on all extant semantic theories of reference.
Oh shit! You know
and
what?
the de dicto de re distinction
I'm dead.
that has been around for over 2,000 years, and the realization that
So
you
what
can
would-
sometimes have false beliefs about something and still latch on to that thing. I mean, Lois
Sure,
Lane had-
false beliefs, but you can't
She
reject who he is
denied.
ontologically.
Why think that? Why do you think that? I think that's false. I think what you're saying is false. Try to state.
Well, I just showed you with the Bizarro example, Trent.
No.
Let me give an example that would clarify it. Look, there's a parable, I think, about the elephant and blind men, right? So you get a bunch of blind men, you tell them all that you're going to be, touching an object, and you have to identify what it is. And they all touch various parts of the elephant. One touches the legs, they think that it's a tree what they're touching. The other one touches the tusk,
shit.
and they think it's like a spear or something, right?
I'm supposed to cloud step at that point.
About what it is, they're talking about the same thing, but they have radically wrong and mutually exclusive descriptions, right? So,
Radically disagree.
right, and that's what, if Christianity is true, that's what the Muslims have done, right? They've picked up on Christianity and Jewish talk about God, and then they've come up with their descriptions about the thing that Muslims and Christians.
That's actually a really good example, Danny. Because at the beginning, I don't know.
I hit the wrong button.
Talking about willful rejection versus ignorance. So if you're ignorant, you can be referring
Oh, he
to the
broke
one true
my
God, or you can
transformation.
ignorantly be
I'm
referring to the
dead.
one true God. When it's willfully, when you willfully reject something that has been revealed to you, you're no longer talking about the same thing.
Wait,
In the same example, can I provide an example?
My example, if you
Is
tell
that
them it's an elephant, and they say no, it's a tree, they're still talking about the same thing.
Yeah, if they're ignorant.
Willfully denying.
But if it's
no, they're willfully.
if they're ignorant,
denying.
though. Okay, so
I told
you
them
would
it's
say
an elephant. I'm not blind.
so
You're
Trent
blind.
so Trent, you would say that somebody who willfully rejects Jesus obstinately is still worshiping the same God as you.
Just like an elephant case.
Sure. If they've come
Really?
to latch on to God.
So what's
Of course.
the limit then? So you said in your previous debate you said Zoroastrians worship the same God, right? You said Muslims worship the same God.
I said it's possible. I said it's possible.
Okay, but if they're aware of Jesus and they reject him, right? Let's say Zoroastrians. You said Zoroastrians worship the same God. You said it's possible in some sense. Muslims worship the same God. Where's the line? What's the line of delineation?
There isn't one. And a lot of standard examples show. Standard technical examples show. There's
So then everybody's worshiping the
literally
same God.
no.
Fuck.
That doesn't follow. See, you can't. The problem with I don't know if you're familiar with Jordan Peterson.
Well, then why don't you
Jordan
why don't you
Peterson did
just
this
give me-
interview with this woman who kept saying,
What is your
"That's what you're
criterion?
saying. That's what you're
Fuck.
saying.
Ah.
That's what you're saying." And that's what
Well, Trent, what is your criterion to say that somebody's
Finish
worshiping the
faster.
same God?
Or get more mana. We got this.
Or is it all
criterion
subjective?
In the case of Muslims, the criterion in the case of Muslims is
No,
that
just for any
Islam,
religion, not just Muslims, for any religion. What's the bare minimum criterion to be worshiping the same God? Or is it just subjective?
that's a false dilemma. You are a veritable banquet of logical fallacies, my friend.
So you won't answer the question because you know it defeats your position
Well,
yet
no,
again,
let's take
and
a
everybody
case-
here can see it,
let's
Trent.
take a case- Let's to help with your question. Let's take a case of pagans, right? Pagans might
Well,
worship.
no, can you answer the question?
I
What
am
is
answering
your
the
stand?
question, right?
Is there something I can? What is the stat that affects how fast a skill cooldown is, or what can I do to reduce skill cooldown? Because I want to. If at the end there, when he gets crazy, I just want to do a pluck of many and stand back. The idea is other stuff fights him, or I fight him when I'm invulnerable, like when I'm in Azure Mist. So you just let the pluck of many fight him, and then Azure Mist his ass and hit him with the rock head for a little bit, and then just run for a while pluck of many comes off cooldown. How do I reduce cooldown? Critical hit chance. Also, I think I can make a new staff maybe. Recovers full health and removes all 4 pain states. Full health? Where's the mana one? I want the mana one. Maximum health, maximum mana. Health. But I think I do want immobilize. I'm gonna get immobilize because it will work sometimes, but it takes. The idea is I want to not use mana, so Spellbinder if it makes me stronger. Or I don't know what it does. There's a big yellow potion that reduces cooldown of spells. Is it legend? It's legendary. What is this? Up 70 minus 6 critical hit chance, punishing downward. Temporary damage. Increase the damage dealt by all pillar stance moves.
The deadly edge stirs a deadly urge. Forging weapons, that's my trade.
What am I upgrading it?
Why not try your hand with such a weapon?
I didn't know you even could upgrade weapons. I know you can upgrade armor.
Handy weapon is better than mere muscle.
Am I just changing? What am I crafting?
The deadly edge stirs a deadly urge.
All I'm doing is changing weapons. Why is it saying craft?
Forging weapons, that's my trade.
Recrafted into a new weapon on the right. Long range staff. King staff. What the fuck? I'm confused. I don't know what that was. Celestial ribbon. It's 40. This goes up to defense 32. I'm not worried about all this right now.
Now you seem a proper sort. Be on your way.
Which weapon am I using? I want this one. I want this one. Wait, I can't have multiple? What the heck? I'm confused.
What rags and tatters? No wonder you're at my door.
Did I just spend a bunch of money transferring my staff around?
If you need sharper blades, seek me here.
Fuck it, we'll do it without immobilize. I think immobilize just pisses them off.
Armor and arms. Edge sharpened, arm restless. I was looking for someone to test it.
Yeah. Shut up. But I do want to start out with the heavy. What the fuck? I messed up. I wasted that. I thought he was coming at me. That's why I let it go. Into the leaves. Oh, he did the that's the one I'm supposed to cloud step through. He didn't say into the leaves. When he doesn't say into the leaves, I need to cloud step to avoid that. If he says into the leaves, we just run. What? Why am I not looking at him? Ah, he ran into the thing and I didn't cloud step. Whenever he runs into the leaves, I need to cloud step. I hit Tiger subduing Felix twice. Fuck. That was a big hit there.
The Zodiac deities never hold back. You're far below him. Train
That
well
took my
before
half my
it's
health
over.
down, but I'm getting it. I thought this was the lightning staff.
Back so soon. Edge sharpened. Arm restless. I was looking for
Vomit
someone
on my sweater already. Edge sharpened. Arms are restless. Vomit on my sweater already. When he turns and runs away, cloud step.
off of the dust. Right with the gale.
Ride with the gale means he's doing the ground spike.
A whirlwind dust.
Oh, wait. I forgot about that. Oh, did he break it? No. He's really unhappy with me. Dude, I can't hit him. He will not let me hit him. Fuck. I keep forgetting. I gotta stop forgetting that. This takes so much health every time. This might kill me. Fuck. Got it. But that was the wrong one. He did fly with the gale, and he said something. It's only when he's silent that I have to cloud step.
All is splintered. The cloud shall split.
Ah. Cloud step, cloud step. Fuck, I missed it. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm not dead. Now we actually have to fight. Ah. Ah, he's so close to dead. Azure missed. We got him. We got him, boys. If I can hit him. Fuck. Fuck. Ah, I was so close. I was so close. He had a slither of health
The
left.
Zodiac deities never hold back.
Ah, I had it.
You're far below.
I had him. Ah, that makes me mad. I was so close. And I didn't take my tiger subduing pellets. I took all the other pellets. I think I want immobilize. What's the monkey do? Oh my. While active, the carrot emits a continuous glow, golden glow, binding the use of any other spells, vessels, and spirit skills. Why don't my camera light keep flashing? Nice. That good brew. Moderate recovers a moderate amount of mana. We don't want that.
There's no going back to the court now. Only drink can drown my sorrows.
Shut up.
What rags and
Let's go, bitch.
yourself.
Ah, fuck. I just wasted plus pluck a mini. Now I gotta actually fight him. Oh yeah, this is a horrible start.
Into the leaves.
That was bad. Bad. Maybe I'll just do...
What's fair to the eye? Yourself.
Oh, pluck a mini is not reset yet.
Into the leaves.
I'm dodging way too early.
Split the shrouded sky.
Fuck. I keep... Fucking up. Fucking up. This is horrible.
Into the leaves. Fresca Scotty.
See, it immobilizes him, but as soon as you hit him, it breaks it. Oh. I always forget the cloud step there.
Gone with the wind.
Oh, did I live? Oh no.
The zodiac deities never hold back.
I almost got his ass. Not that time, but the other time. So I know I can do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Edge sharpened. Arm restless.
The problem is, I have to wait for Pluck a Mini because I forget. It's not like normal boss fights. Oh my god, why do I never cloud step there? It's so like weird. He like turns in his back and runs away. And I always miss when he does that. I need to do that when he's standing right in front of me. I need to transform. Because that's some of the only hits I get on him. I'm stuck in a corner. I can't move. Why can't I move? Oh, my controller died. Shoot. I'm dead. Fuck. Fuck. I don't know how to play with mouse. I don't know how to heal. Fuck. Oh, wait, the controller's back on now. Damn it. What the heck? Hold on. I gotta get a cord.
Zodiac deities never hold back. You're far below him. Train well before returning here.
All right. I got him this time.
Fair to the eye. Make yourself.
Fucked up. I still got the multis out.
Take this. shall split! Down with might! Take a hike! Ride with the gale! The whirlwind guns! The gale shall shoot!
I lost pluck of many because of immobilize. I used immobilize twice, so I. Unless there's some way to get mana back that I don't know. Damn it. Okay, I can't use immobilize.
The zodiac deities.
That's why the
back.
spellbind.
You're far below him. Train well before returning here.
So should I use spellbind and activate it? But that costs mana too, doesn't it?
What rags and tatters? Yourself.
Fuck.
Ride with the gale. All restricted. Take this! To the sky! Down with might!
See, he said ride with the gale. I didn't need to cloud step.
A whirlwind guns! The clouds shall split!
That was the one. That's the one you cloud step. I didn't even see him do it. I was about to heavy hit him. Should be okay though. Fuck. I messed up there. Fuck. He's being relentless. Fuck. I should have just used immobilize just to heal.
The Zodiac deities never hold
You guys can't see my health bar, huh? I'm getting pretty close. If I get 2 monkey cycles and 2 Azure mist cycles, I win, but he gets crazy. Oh wait, no, don't start yet. I gotta wait till it.
back so soon. Give it here. I'll get to pounding.
Why am I not using my electricity stat?
Armor and arms. Yourself.
Fuck. I keep forgetting I have that, but he cut that up. Damn.
Take this.
Why are you not doing the thing? Hitting the wrong damn button. He does not want to let me attack. He is cutting me up. Oh my god, can I hit you once? We stopped one finally. Holy shit.
Right with the gale. A whirlwind dust. The clouds shall split. The gale shall sing.
think I had it. I got a little worried there at the end.
It's yours now.
Let's
I'll
go.
just forge another.
Now we fight Scorpion Lord. A black wind rises, fate swift dance. With each retreat, a new advance. Transform into the Yen Tiger to ward off incoming blows by holding the sword horizontally, or dash forward like a gale to close in on foes. Focus built up before transformation can be used afterward. Can be converted for use afterward. I don't know. Oh, okay. Is Sword Tiger good? Is he better than Is that all you get for that?
What rags and tatters. No wonder you're at my door. He was clad in splendor, yet you are plain as dirt. It's wise to wear more curios to guard yourself. I'll lend a hand.
So I can have an extra curios now? Duskvale's horn. Iron tough armor upon successful rock solid deflection. This costs 2 fine gold thread. I'm gonna save my fine gold thread till I can make this, but I can't make it till after I kill the Duskvale. But I do have a new set of armor I can make, but it would use my fine gold thread. That's a sick looking set of armor, by the way, but it's not as good as what I have. Maybe if I upgrade it. Oh yeah, that's pretty sick.
All you lean on is a thick skull.
Shut up, I just whooped your ass. So can I have an extra curios now? Slightly increases experience gained from defeating enemies. Gold Sun Crow? What's Gold Sun Crow? Okay, so I don't have the bat. This one. Upon use of Gourd fully recovers health for all duplicates nearby. Using Gourd grants a moderate amount of burn resistance and immunity from lava-covered terrain for a short duration. Health recovery is half, but attack is increased for a short duration after the Gourd. I'll stay with the one I got. Thank you. Okay. Let's try this Scorpion King again. Do I have any? Only one. I think I wanted to put stuff into. $342. Level 342 is the highest level. We need to work on defense, so I need one more point. Yeah, I'll just save it. Okay. Okay, here we go again. With the dam. What's it called? Scorpion Lord. I need some water up here. Warm up round first. I think I definitely want Wandering White for this one. For raised defense. And too early. Why am I... Fuck. It's okay. Dude, the bat works great. The bat freezes his ass. We get a whole nother immobilize. I got this. Because we can rip half his health down in the opening. Yeah. But I think instead of the Azure dude, I want the monkey. Maybe red tides for this guy. Because he's fast. Oh, I haven't even tried this one yet. Let's try this guy. They say this Umbral Abyss is the best one, though. Trying to do it without using all my pills. We'll use the pills once I get the groove down again. Like I had it this morning. Or last night. Morning to me. Oh, I missed the missing everything. Ah, I'm poisoned too. I forgot to pluck him in. I messed up the opening. I waited a little too long to immobilize and he hit me and broke it. Need to immobilize him and then pluck a mini. I could, yeah. Don't matter.
I shall not leave until my blood gets.
See, he got away that time. Fuck. Ah. I'm trying to get perfect dodges so I can build up focus. We did decent on that, but could be better. I wasted some heavy hits, and I need to wait and freeze them when I have more. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. And that was without any pills. Fuck, wasted it. I think I can do it if I take a bunch of meds beforehand. I think I got him. Yeah, let's do that. But I don't have any of the good tiger subduing pellets. That was an accident. Damn, that fucked up my tiger. And me. Fuck. God, his attacks are so big. Fuck. Fuck, I hit the wrong button. Fuck. I took the meds that time. It didn't really do much. I just gotta not screw up in the beginning. I didn't hit him with my first heavy. That sets off a whole chain reaction of good stuff. I need to use the ice bat whenever why do I accidentally let go of Y sometimes? I think that's a controller issue. Fuck, I thought he was running this way. That's why. What? I tried to do a see-through. Ah, come on. No medication on that one. We're getting pretty close. Pretty close.
I shall not leave until my blood.
Why did I not hit him? It's like I hit the wall instead of hitting him. It's weird. It's too aggressive. Too aggressive. Little too aggressive. All right, come on. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. It's like the pills make me worse. Come on. I've gotten him close so many times. This is doable. I don't know why this one is so hard for me. I need poison stuff. I keep getting poisoned. Oh, how do I hold my sword sideways to block hits? Fuck, I wasted my immobilize. And in a way, my... Whoa, how did he hit me while I was in cloud stuff? Oh, I was poisoned. I need a potion that cures poison. Oh, this is the cooldown of all spells one. I do have one. So I could use this and get Pluck of Many multiple times. Why am I not getting close now? What am I doing different? I don't know, maybe the tiger's not the best. Huh. What happened? got tore up. Ah, he broke the ice. Ah, dude. This guy. We got the tiger, dude. We got the green hat, dude, on the second try. This guy is still a problem. Fuck. I'm getting frustrated.
No,
You don't like.
I'm not
I am
talking-
answering
I'm
the
not
question.
talking to you,
I'm
Danny.
talking to you,
talking
Buster.
Trent.
Right? I'm talking to you,
No,
please. Right?
I'm
I'm
talking
talking
to
to
Trent.
you. So let me
Will
get this
you
out. I'm
answer
going
the
to address the question, and you're going to. I'm gonna address the question.
Notice he's running from the
Notice that
question.
you're-
He refuses
I'm
to answer it
answering your
because he
question.
has no standard.
I'm
He's just
answering
making
your
it up as he
question.
goes.
I'm answering your question. You won't allow me.
Which
right?
is why
Okay,
he's teamed
I
up
don't
with an
know why you're
atheist
not letting
because
me-
they have
just
no
let me
objective truth.
answer your question, right? And by the way, you did the same thing. You didn't answer yes or no when we demanded it. So I don't see why you have a problem with what I'm doing right now. So
Well, actually, I did. I did
No,
answer
you
the question. I
never.
just didn't answer it in the
It's
way
like
that you
pulling
wanted.
teeth. It was like pulling teeth. Anyways, think about the pagans, people that worship Zeus. The reason why, when they're talking about Zeus, they're talking about a different entity than what Christians and Muslims are talking about, is because the sense of God there, the little g God, right, the concept doesn't imply anything like creator of all, have omni properties, right? It's like a humanoid being that has like super, kind of more like Superman, right? So the idea is that when pagans are worshiping Zeus, they're saying, yeah, I'm not worshiping God in the sense that Christians and Muslims and Jews are worshiping, right? They're talking about little g God, okay? So that's the disanalogy between, or if you're looking for a case where they're worshiping a different God than people that say the phrase, I worship the one true God.
Yeah, and the reality
That's
is
not
there's
even
a
hidden.
million ways that
Wow.
people come to God, but through Romans 1:20, it says that God's revealed himself in nature. So people, the reason why there is no direct answer to your question is because there's a million ways people can come to understand God. There is no finite set of options. But the most common way they come to latch on to God is the heavens declare the glory of God, and they understand God as the creator of the world and everything.
I know
And
I
so
can
when I
beat
was a
him
kid and I
because
watched
I've got him
Cowboy and
so
Indian
close, and I've
movies,
gotten
and the big chief would sit with the
I'm
head
not
of
fighting
the
him
cowboys,
right. Maybe I need
and he
to.
would say something with the good guy, right? With the good guy, and he would say, "Hey, the Great Spirit wants us all to
Dude,
come
everybody
together
just
as
says
his
whoop his
children."
ass at the beginning.
It wasn't like I was going, "Oh my God, who is this person?"
Well, real quick, let me
Notice
But
notice
they were
notice how
referring to
one
the
second,
God
JP.
who created nature and therefore they were talking about the same God, because the phrase the only being who is the creator of the world is God. Do you know of another God? Are you aware of another God?
Let him
the
answer,
creator of
Trent.
nature?
All right, so you're filibustering now. All right, let me speak. All right, so two things here. You're referring to natural theology, and all of your examples are referring to people who are ignorant, not those who willfully reject. So somebody out in nature, person off on the island or whatever, that doesn't have Jesus Christ revealed to them, right? That's who that would apply to, not somebody who willfully rejects. All right, so Danny, you actually answered Trent's question for him. So you said the creator of all, and what was it, omnipresent? What was the word that you used?
Things like omni-property.
Things like.
Okay.
Things like.
Okay, so creator of all, omni properties or something, right? So if those two, would you say that's like the bare minimum to say that you're worshiping the same God? Because that was the example you used, Danny.
Well, the point is that Muslims, Christians, and Jews think there's an entity that fits that description.
Okay, sure.
We're saying they both refer to it.
If I belong to a faith and I say that I'm worshiping the uncreated creator of the universe, he's omnipresent, he's omnipotent, whatever the case may be, but my iteration of worship of him, I believe he is a pink elephant with a unicorn horn. Would I still be worshiping the same God?
In the same way that, yes, and let me elaborate. Yes, in the same way that the elephant example, they think it's a tree. They're still referring to the thing that is an elephant, even though it's nothing like a tree.
See, but this is the ridiculousness of this system, though.
Wait.
So
then explain the elephant example.
to say that you're worshiping the same God, if it is a
example.
Well, guess what? We have an example of this within the scripture.
You won't talk about anything.
Real quick. Let me speak.
You have an example of this. The golden calf.
Yeah, let me explain something.
So you just refuted your whole position.
All right, so real quick. So Danny mentioned an elephant. So I real quickly chat you. So you know what?
Why is there that semi there, though?
Real quick. Now check this out.
To be fair, neither of these things are God. Just to be clear to the audience.
No, yes. But let's go with Danny. Suppose that these particular individuals think that this elephant is God. But the actual God is a truck, and they're all touching it, and they all have different perceptions of this elephant. Regardless of what perception you might have of this elephant is not this truck, and this truck is not this elephant. So if a Muslim is touching this elephant, and I show them the revelation of this truck, and I tell them, hey, Mr. Muslim's touching this elephant,
that was
the
decent.
True God is this
That was
truck,
decent.
Not this elephant.
Was
Doesn't
going
matter how
good, but
much
I
you touch
needed
it,
to heal.
because the true God is the truck, not the elephant. So I would say that. Hold on, let me finish. So I would say that now somebody said JP's source is ChatGPT. Relax, fellas. I'm just using a picture from the thing. Relax. So all I'm saying is that Danny's example is contingent on that particular entity being the one true God that these particular Muslims worship, saying that it's the same one. But I'm saying the truck is the one true God that I worship, and Muslims not. So once I make them aware of the truck that I worship, that is different from the elephant. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of the elephant example when it was originally brought up in the 40s and why Danny brought it up. The point of the elephant example was to show that it is a non sequitur to go from two individuals are giving radically different descriptions of an entity to the inference that they are not in contact with the same entity. That is the reason why he brought it in there, to show that it is a counterexample to a general inference pattern, an inference pattern that was required for his argument to work. Now, let me give you just two examples, okay?
No. Before you give those two examples, let me address that, and then
I'm going to come back to the two examples, though.
You can come back to the two examples. Absolutely. I've been very charitable and fair.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm keeping track of every second here, guys.
That's all right. Give JP an opportunity to talk. He's barely talked during this whole thing.
Okay,
so.
Thank you. And I understand what Danny was trying to say. It's a very sincere argument, right? But from the Bible,
oh shit! I left the video playing. My bad.
And that's where we're basing it on. In the Bible, we see an example of the true God, which is a truck.
I don't know, man.
God forgive me for the blasphemous statements. God knows that's not what I mean. But Danny brought up the elephant, and we see the false God that is the elephant. So because we see in scriptures examples of one worshiping the true God and one not worshiping the true God, and I think Zeus was mentioned in all of these things in lowercase g, the Bible actually never says that that is the true God once you are no longer ignorant of what you are serving. So once you no longer are ignorant, you are now aware of the true God. And last but not least, you keep mentioning the Jews, and you keep mentioning that Jews have a knowledge of God and a zeal for God. I already told you that Jews are a different example from Muslims because God actually revealed himself to Jews. So they have a knowledge of godliness, but deny the power thereof. So therefore, it wouldn't be the case for Muslims because Yahweh never revealed himself. It was actually the devil who revealed himself to Muhammad in that case. So that's where I would go. Go ahead, give me your two examples.
Okay, so I'm going to reiterate that
Fuck, man, I missed 2 heavy attacks.
You guys are confusing the concept, the bare concept of worship as such, with the enriched concept of perfect, whole, and flawless worship. Nobody's saying.
Fuck, I'm wasting everything. I'm missing everything.
Perfectly, fully worship.
I never said that.
I didn't say it. Did you say? Do you believe that, Danny? Do you believe that Muslims work perfectly?
I never said that.
in the fullness? Right.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yeah, and that's not what that is.
But all of the arguments depend on the inference pattern. If S is not worshiping X perfectly, S is not worshiping X, and that inference pattern has been shown to be false again and again and again. Now let's talk about the denial thing. You talked about the difference between Jews and Muslims. That's why I specifically brought up Paul, because Paul most certainly was denying that Jesus was God, even though he was full of zeal for God. He was worshiping God in the ignorance that Jesus was in fact a divine member of the triune Godhead. Paul had absolutely was denying that. To say that
Well,
Paul was a Jew.
Trent, let Trent finish his line of reasoning.
So that's why I didn't just coming back to the Jews. I'm coming back to the Jew.
That's fine.
So specific Jew who is a counterexample to the inference pattern. Let me tell you 2 stories about real people. Okay?
Stories.
So
We only have 20 minutes left.
I might be going to bed soon.
plenty of time.
Go ahead, just keep it short,
Okay.
Trent.
Okay, you tell me how much time I can take, and I'll start my clock.
No,
how much time?
go ahead, Trent. Just try to
No,
quick as you can.
no,
No,
I
no,
want to
no.
know. Do I have 3 minutes? Can I talk uninterrupted for 3 minutes?
Sure, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I am a former Christian apologist. Maybe I'm still a Christian apologist. I don't know. I don't like that term anymore because I don't like what shows up when you search for that on the internet. But I was a big advocate of the 2-step approach, okay, where you would give arguments for the existence of God to get somebody to theism, and then you would give arguments for the deity of Christ to get them across the border to full-fledged Christianity, okay? That was what I was taught personally by Norman Geisler, who was my main first mentor. It's what Bill Craig has always done, J.P. Moreland, even Gary Habermas. All the people that taught me at Liberty University were all 2-stage apologists. It was like, okay, first we hit you with the theistic arguments to show that there is a God, and then we hit you with the arguments for the resurrection of Jesus to show that Jesus is the full and complete revelation of that God, okay? Now, there are a lot of people who, in the process of that, will say, okay, well, like like Tony Kennedy at one point is like, okay, all right, fine. You've convinced me God exists, but I'm just not, this Trinity stuff is contradiction, it's too complex, and the idea that Jesus could be both God and man.
Dude, I've put so many hours into this guy, and I cannot beat this guy. I'm
Absolutely got
getting
me.
really
And
annoyed.
then you work on him some more. You know, you really feed him the historical facts argument, and then they're like, oh, okay, maybe, okay, it's coherent. Okay, fine, the incarnation, the Trinity, they're coherent, but I still don't think it's true. And then you're like, oh, but then you just keep, read this. And they're like, oh my God, it's actually true. And they come to believe Jesus. Okay, that person comes to believe that Jesus is the incarnation of the very God that they believed in from the theistic apologetics, even in the interim phase where they explicitly explicitly rejected the Trinity, rejected the incarnation, rejected the divinity of Christ. And this proves 1,000 times over that it is not the case that denying that Jesus is God, denying that God is triune, explicitly rejecting it makes you not a believer in one true God. That is a proof 100 times over, 1,000 times over, maybe 10,000 times over for the individuals who actually did that. Okay, so I got 31 seconds left. I had students at Baylor University where I taught for a long time, and I taught honors freshmen, and they were intellectually very intelligent students. But so many of them believe it or not, believe that God was a physical being. They literally believed that God was a physical being, like the Godhead, not incarnate in Jesus. They had beliefs that absolutely contradicted the true nature of God. But they believed in the one true God. They absolutely did. Now I got 3 seconds to spare. I'll use the balance of my time.
There you go. Do you mind if I have a couple of minutes to respond to that? I had the same amount.
Not me.
Time is fine. You cool with that, Danny?
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious, man.
Okay. Thank you again for coming and doing this debate with us. I really appreciate it. This has been a good conversation so far. So I'll respond to basically what you just said about the about Paul's statement about his zeal for God. So in the time that you took to explain that, you actually
again.
I don't know if you noticed that you said this, but in his ignorance of Jesus Christ's divinity, he was worshiping the true God. So that was actually something that you said in your response there. At the beginning of this debate, we conceded that if someone is ignorant of the one true God, right, they can in some sense be worshiping the true God. The same way that maybe an atheist who is like, God, show me a sign or something, can actually be calling out to God, even if prior to that they are willfully rejecting the Trinity or whatever. They're in that sense, they're softening their heart and saying, okay, maybe God is real. I'm going to call out to him in that sense. But in your example, you were discussing Paul being ignorant. Well, what happens shortly after that? He's no longer ignorant. Christ reveals himself to him. Similarly, with the Superman argument, with Lois not understanding who, is this actually Superman or is this Clark Kent or whatever, that relies on her ignorance. But if he were to actually reveal himself to her, hey, this is me, this is Superman, I'm taking the glasses off, I'm putting the super suit on, this is me, I'm actually Superman, she's going to say, well, actually, no, the Superman I'm thinking of is actually that guy over there, and she points to Bizarro. We would know that they're not talking about the same individual. And I would also say that when I bring that up, so every other example within the scripture, so you bring up the one example with Paul, every other example of people who willfully reject God, it says that they're actually worshiping demons. And in the Romans 1 example that I brought that up very specifically because it explicitly states the exact opposite of what you're saying Paul states. So I'm going to read a little bit of a broader passage from Romans 1, and then I'll end my time. So Romans 1:20, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. So people are without excuse. They're without excuse for acknowledging that there is a creator because he's evident in nature. Okay, but continuing on. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. But their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. So referring to people who willfully reject God. So here are the actual ramifications for this type of theology if we continue on into the verses here. This is the ramifications, so pay attention to this, very important. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images to look like a mortal human being and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore, God gave them over in the sinful desires of their hearts to sexual impurity for the degrading of their bodies with one another. So where does this type of willful rejection of the one true God, that you can only worship God in one specific, like if you're not worshiping the true God, you're worshiping a demon. So what happens when you worship these demons? Well, guess what? God gives you over to sexual impurity. And I think we can actually see the fruits of this type of theology on display here today, since you have teamed up with a bisexual atheist to defend your theology.
That's a piece of shit. That's a piece of shit move, you fucking fuck you.
Damn.
That
I'm just saying.
Disgusting. I cannot believe that I'm sitting here and I'm saying something Christian treat another human being with such absolute disrespect, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself.
Well,
Danny,
you're
a
coming
friend
here
of mine,
to
you are so
defend
disgusting.
theology
That is
with
the
an
most
atheist
un-Christian,
that has his entire,
disgusting.
and now he's crashing out.
God have
And now he's crashing out.
mercy on your soul.
Well,
God have mercy
Okay,
on your
and now he's crashing
What
out.
a
Okay.
bullshit movie.
Well, we can piety signal and all of this type of
What a
stuff,
bullshit
but I think
movie.
that is the fruit of your theology. Ultimately, at the end of the day.
Let's go back to your verse. The verse, I agree with Trent. That verse undermines your whole point. The people that were given over, do they know God? Yes or no, please.
The people that were given over, do they give God? No, they don't worship God. Actually, it says that.
No, the question isn't about worship. I'm asking, do they know God according to this passage?
Oh, sure. Do they know God? Yeah, they did not see fit to acknowledge God, but
Right,
they...
now do Muslims know God? Do Muslims know God?
Sure, but they reject Him.
Okay, so they know God, but they reject Him?
Absolutely.
What does that even mean? Right, but the point is that if they know God, then when they're talking about
Well,
God, they're referring
they know,
to the God
they
that
know,
you know.
they know that Jesus Christ is. They know that Jesus. Well, if you were to actually read the Quran, it actually admits that the Christians worship Jesus Christ as God. They reject this proposition. The entire Islam religion itself is predicated on the rejection of Jesus Christ's divinity and the Trinity. So it says that in the Quran specifically. So if you were to read verse, hold on one second. If you were to read 21, for although they knew God, they neither glorified Him, so worship. They don't worship the same God. For although they knew God, they neither glorified Him as God, nor gave thanks to Him. That's the same exact instance.
See, this
like
is
in
not
Islam.
hard. Look, if you have a pagan that
Yeah, this
knows,
is not hard. That's the
Let me
obvious
finish.
reading of the
I let
text.
you finish. I let you finish. If you have a pagan that knows Zeus, or that believes in Zeus, do they know God?
If you have a pagan
That
says
believes
what,
in
they know
Zeus, do they know God?
Well, according to your standard, right? No.
I'm asking
Because
for
you
your
said-
standard. If someone says they believe in Zeus, do they know God? Yes or no?
No.
No, because Zeus is a different entity than God. So now you said Muslims know God, right? That means that God, the
Well,
God
no,
that
I'm
they-
saying
the God
in
that
the sense that they don't know the
God
one
that they
true
know,
God. Now
that
they
means
would.
that means that the God they know
Can
is
I
the
answer
God that
your?
you know.
Can I answer your question though, Danny? So they would say that they worship God, right? So in their own worldview, they would say that they worship God, but they don't worship the one true God. That's the way that I'm trying to tell you
The
that.
point is,
Where's
is
the
that
guy?
in the case where there
Where's
would
the
be
boss?
different gods, that's the pagan case, right? To believe in Zeus is
Wait,
not
what the
to
heck?
believe in God, okay? But if you're agreeing with me,
What, I try
right,
him too many
that,
times? Hold on, it's
Muslims
open.
believe in God
Wait, what
and know
happened?
God on your view, right? Know God on your view. Then they're referring to the God that when they bow down to,
What happened?
they're bowing to the God that they know. It's case closed for you.
So yeah, they're bowing down to the God that they know, but they're not bowing down to the one true God.
Oh, do they know the one true God?
Sure, and they reject Him, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so when they say, I know God, and they bow down, I'm bowing down to the God that I know, is
what the
bowing
heck?
down worship?
Where'd the boss? I didn't kill
Is
him.
bowing down worship? Yeah, they're worshiping demons.
No, if they say, if you already agree.
Well, sure, I mean, they can be wrong, though. In their mind, they think they're worshiping the one true God. They're not actually, though. The Quran actually specifically states that they don't worship Jesus Christ as God, and it condemns Christians for doing so.
Okay, are you saying that they're worshiping a different entity because they have a false set of descriptions about the one true God?
No, I'm saying they're worshiping a different entity in the same way that if, like in the lowest example, if you were to
No, in
actually put the
Zeus
super
example,
suit on,
it would be like the Zeus example.
the Zeus example, well, the Zeus example isn't the creator of the universe, though.
Right. So
He doesn't have the omni properties, so even from your own
the point
perspective.
is that the point on your view, you're committed to saying that Allah is like Zeus, a different entity than the one true God.
You said is Allah. Repeat that one more time. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Danny.
You're saying that you're committed to this, that if Muslims are worshiping a different entity, okay, then it would be like a pagan.
well,
worshiping
how-
Zeus
how-
because
how
Allah
come
would
I
be a
went
different
through there?
entity than the one true God.
Sure, because they willfully reject Jesus Christ.
Right, but then earlier you said that Muslims, you agreed with me that Muslims believe or know God.
Oh no, I went backwards. That's why.
Well, sure, they know because they know that Christians worship
Something.
Jesus as God.
Right, so they're not like the pagans.
I've already been
they
here
actually
before.
are bowing down to the one true God.
Sure, they're not like the pagan.
okay.
Actually, I would
Debate
I would
done.
have the opposite though. I think you've got that kind of mixed up because the pagan, at least in antiquity, wouldn't have known about Jesus Christ as being divine. They wouldn't have known about the Trinity, etc. So you could argue maybe from ignorance that they worship God, like as revealed in nature or whatever the case may be. But in the case of Muslims, it's actually doubly worse because in their text, they actually reject Jesus Christ, the one true God, as being God. So they wouldn't have the same God as me.
Look, it's
So it's
either
the
that.
exact
I'm
opposite.
confused.
It's the exact opposite of your example, Denny.
Yeah, let me address something real quick. Danny's name is literally bisexual atheist. Like that's his name. So can you guys cut it out? Cut it out, please. And carry on, fellas.
Well, I put that title for people like Cleve, who has been insulting me, and other Eastern Orthodox and Protestants have been insulting me on Twitter, saying that why is someone with this kind of sexuality even talking about the topic, right? It's just bigoted. Trent it was a justified crash out because people like Cleve bully people like me for no good reason. But anyways, we'll move on. The idea is this.
Well, I mean, I wasn't intending to bully you. I'm just saying that's the logical conclusion to collaborate with individuals who are atheists and have your
That's
type
just
of
an ad
sexuality
hominem.
on these types of issues.
That is just an ad hominem.
Well, not when the scriptures specifically say that that's the end result of this type of theology.
What does that have to do with the debate? The point is that atheists have a view that, oh yeah, when people worship Zeus, that's a different god than when Christians worship.
Okay, well then let's get back to the debate, then.
Right, so I'm just pointing out that there's a bit of bigotry on your end, right, about an ad hominem about attacking my
Okay, so
sexuality.
we've got the piety signaling.
All right,
Let's
no,
continue
you're
on
the
with
one that
debate.
started it, though, right? Okay, but moving on. The point is that either Allah is more like the Zeus case, or is worshiping.
I'm
the same God as
confused.
you.
I don't know what
Okay?
just happened.
If you're saying it's more like the Zeus case, they don't know God, because people that believe in Zeus, that's the only, let's say, kind of deity they believe in, they don't know God. Okay, so it's either, so is Allah more like Zeus or more like the God that you worship?
Is Allah more like Zeus or more like the God
Did
that
I like
worship?
try too many
It
times?
doesn't
and he's
matter
not
what
gonna
he's
fight me
more
no more?
like if he's not the same person, if he's not the same being, right? So you're
No.
conflating attributes and
You misunderstood
ontology.
my question. And it's my fault because more like is ambiguous. Okay, what I'm asking is that is Allah a different entity than the true God? Right? Like Zeus is a different entity than the true God. That's the question.
Why is he not
Well,
fighting
they're
no more?
both different
Did
entities.
I didn't kill him.
So
Okay,
are
then
you
don't
saying in
know
terms
God.
of can I ask a clarification question, Danny? Is that all right? So are you referring to like descriptors of the two? So I mean, I guess you could say in some sense, I don't know, Allah, the Islamic conception of Allah, at least the modern Islamic conception, because the old kind of like the origins. I don't know if you know about this. There's
think
an
I needed
argument
to
that
kill
says
him.
that it's actually just a like updated version of Baal worship, and early Byzantine manuscripts actually state that like Allah was like a god made of like, what was it, beaten metal or something. And in these early Byzantine manuscripts, there's actually anathemas against the God of Islam, and they would make converts into the church proclaim an anathema over the God of Islam before being received into the church. So they would have to basically curse this false God of Islam because earlier manuscripts actually tie it into him being a god of beaten metal. So if we're referring to the modern iteration of Islam, it's basically, if you were to say, are they closer in terms of description? I mean, you could maybe add he's the creator. It's not what you're. Oh, go ahead and clarify then, Danny. I'm sorry.
Okay, the context is that you admitted that Muslims do know God, right? And Allah is just
As Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not saying in their false religion has true worship of the God. Of the
Okay,
one true
now
God.
it's not clear. Do Muslims know God? Yes or no?
Yes, as Jesus Christ, but they reject him.
Okay, but we agree. Okay, so we agree that that Muslims know God. Period. All right. So moving on, Allah is just a name for God, right?
I might not get the fight the
No,
dust
not in
veil
their-
now
not
because
in
that
their
boss
instance,
glitched
because
out.
they have no other name for God.
What does Allah
the
mean
name.
in Arabic?
Sure, yeah, but that's a word concept fallacy, Danny. That's not what they're
How is
referring to.
that- it's a question. How can it be a fallacy? Is Allah
Because you cannot call Allah by any other name in Islam. They actually have a very specific intention when using those words. If you were to say like a Christian is using the word Allah, they have a different meaning behind the word.
what do Muslims mean by the term Allah?
So they're referring to their God, which has no son, cannot be called the father of any.
the point is that if it's just a synonym for God, then they're talking about perhaps.
Well, it's
like,
not. It's not just a synonym for God. That's kind of the modern understanding of the word, which is why I said it was a word concept fallacy.
I'm saying that Allah is like the word Dios. Okay, do you know what Dios means?
But it's not in the Islamic sense, though.
Why would anyone believe that?
No, that's quite literally their name for God, though. That is
Like
his
Dios,
name.
right?
No, not like just saying God in
How
general.
do you say God in Arabic?
Yeah, I understand. It's a word concept fallacy. You say Allah, that's fine, but that's
How's
a word
that-
concept
First
fallacy.
of all, when you say fallacy, or remember, when unless it's a loaded question, I can't be arguing fallaciously if I'm asking you a question, right? So the question is,
This is, yeah, I mean, but no, that's literally what you're trying to conflate, though. The two meanings are not the same.
I'm saying
They're not referring to just a general term like God. That's actually their name for God.
Okay, what's the general term for God in Arabic?
The general term for God would be Allah, but if you're going to conflate the meanings to be the same thing,
All right,
that's
so
a word concept
moving
fallacy.
on.
It's
All right.
not.
So
All right,
the
2
point
minutes,
is,
fellas. 2
I'm
minutes.
talking about the generic. The point is that Muslims believe in the generic.
Somehow we
term
skipped that
God,
boss.
Okay, they think that entity exists. Now it's either that they're referring to a completely different entity than you are, so it'd be like the Zeus case, in which case they don't know God. Okay, or they're referring to, because they know God, they are referring to the God that you know as well. That's the dilemma.
Okay, so what is the question? Because my entire point was that if they reject Jesus Christ, they're rejecting the one true God.
Hail,
It's a
young
dilemma.
They might
master.
think
Your
they might
face
think
is
they have
gold,
understanding of, like, they
complexion
might actually have
sapphire.
understand. When I say they have understanding of
Both
God or
remind
they
me
know
of the
God, I'm
venom's
referring to
touch.
Jesus,
As the
because
worm
literally within the
also besets
Quran,
you.
it's talking about Jesus. It talks about that
An ivy
Christians
thrives
worship
here, armor wall.
worship Jesus as God, and
Consuming
it actually
its eggs
condemns him
grants
for it.
great
It
power.
says, I could actually
wants to
pull up
larvae
the,
hatch.
it might be, we don't have
They
enough time to
devour
pull
your
up the,
insides.
Yeah, that's
exact
enough
leaving
time.
them
So
dying
fellas, look,
husk.
check it out. So me and Danny are gonna go head to head
My
with
fellow
you guys
disciples,
and ourselves.
hungry for power,
In
consume
the next
those
show,
eggs.
which will be in
And
45 minutes. But for now, we're
most
gonna
are
answer the
beyond
super
remedy.
chat questions. And as soon as we finish the super chat questions
Young
and the
master,
questions at hand,
if you will,
and
end their
just
suffering
for
in
the
my
time,
stead.
for the sake of time, I'll just let Danny and
They
Cleve
were
answer
my
those questions. I'll
fellows.
just read them.
I
So,
can't.
so I'm gonna read the super chat questions, and then after we finish reading all the questions, we'll go to the after show, which is pinned in the live chat thing right there. It's pinned, and if you're a subscriber to the channel, I think you'll automatically be pushed over. So, and the link will be provided if you guys want to take on Danny yourselves. Okay. All right. So, real quickly, the first question is going to be, well, this is not a question, but this is one
just
of the.
just pull up the questions.
Well, I would like to
Oh
respond.
yeah, let's.
I would like to
Oh,
respond. to that.
Yeah,
go ahead, Danny.
Right. The point is, I don't, and I think that I've hopefully convinced the two people on the panel. The point is that atheists have to have, if especially if you're, the most of the world is religious. We have views about what we think religious people worship. We think that pagans worship different stuff than Christians. Okay. You don't need to be a Catholic or a Protestant or a religious person to have a view about this. Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, Cleve to antiquity. So, what do you do with Balaam and Numbers that was pagan and worshipped multiple gods, of which the true God?
People who aren't watching the stream are gonna think I
Sure. So
glitched
when the
out
true
the
God
boss
is revealed
to
to him,
skip it.
in that instance, he's following the teachings, or he's following the direction of the one true God. But in his worship of false gods, the scripture is actually very clear. If you read Deuteronomy, it says the gods of the nations are demons, very specifically. So even referencing Baal, so he would have to cease his worship of Baal in order to serve the one true God, which he actually does if you were to continue to read that particular text. When he refuses to curse Israel as the commands of that pagan ruler wanted him to do. So, good question though.
All right, do you want to answer this, Danny, or no?
No, go ahead. You can go next one.
All right. All right, so
Name
I'm just going through
lost.
the super chats, fellas.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think we should probably read the super chats that they sent just to say thanks for sending them in.
But I've
Little
already made my
lost.
point. already made my point. I won't address the atheist.
Yeah, the only reason that I even bring up the atheist thing or anything like that is because I think that's logically where the theology leads. In his previous debate, he was saying something along the lines of like, Even atheists, in some sense, worship the same God. So it would make sense that would logically lead to believe you can defend these things as if you're on the same team.
Well, by the way, there are atheists that disagree with me. They think that that Muslims and Christians worship different gods. So just letting you know.
Sure. I mean, under the atheist kind of paradigm, especially if you're like a like radical skeptic, there is no real objective truth. And I don't know if you remember, Danny. We've actually had a discussion in the past on TikTok, like maybe a year or two ago.
Okay. Well, that would be
Anyway.
Well, that's a different topic. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on.
All right. So we
feel like
have
I
a
missed
couple
stuff
of
up here.
non-super chat questions. How much of the ship, God's self-revelation, can be replaced when one worship? All right, so I think that one's for you, Danny.
Again, so if you have an
Frog?
entity, let's say the ship of Theseus, and you think the ship of Theseus, or the
Frog boss.
let's say you again, like the elephant example, you examine it with everything but your eyes. Okay, you could have everything wrong. All of your descriptions about the thing that you're touching could be wrong, and you'd still be referring to the same thing. So that's, I guess, the best way to answer this question is that how wrong can you be about the thing that you're referring to? You could be very, very wrong and still refer to it.
All right. Do you want to tackle this one, Cleve?
No, that's all right.
All right, cool. All right. Somebody sent a super chat, but it wasn't a question, so we're not gonna, it has to be a super chat question, right? Danny, the Superman analogy shows that you can have the same reference. However, you have yet to prove that Allah is not a different being than Yahweh. Can you prove they are not different beings?
Yes, and well, by proof, I mean, can I show that it's reasonable? Here's why I think it's reasonable, from at least my perspective, and I think most scholars.
I think it's going to be a frog boss,
The point
maybe.
is that Islam, whether in a good way or a bad way, took from Christians and Jews, right? Muhammad conversed with Christians and Jews. He used their terms. He wanted to talk about what Christians and
Gotta
Jews
be a
were
frog.
talking
Did I
about.
kill it already?
What the difference is that he presented a set of descriptions that were not the same set of descriptions that Christians and Jews were giving, but he was still referring to the same thing that they were talking about, right? Now, where evidence that I'm wrong would be this, that if Muhammad came up to Christians and Jews and say, hey, your God does not exist. Instead, my God exists, okay? That is not what Muhammad did and the early Muslims, right? They wanted to update, right, the revelation about the one true God that the Christians were wrong in their descriptions about.
All right. Okay.
Any other super chat questions? Send them in now.
Yeah. Danny, many religions have creator gods. Is it possible for a false deity to pose as the creator to steal worship, such as the Canaanite god El?
So, I don't... Okay, so I'll try to be brief. So there are cases where you have different reference under the same description, okay? So if I say that, let's say the creator, let's say that's a description, right? And I say that that belongs to, let's say Jesus, but no, you say that belongs to Paul, right? You are talking about two different things, okay? But notice that if you think that that description is like some kind of universal, you may not be disagreeing. Like in the case of Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit are different persons, just like Jesus and Paul are different persons, but they have the same description, and you're referring to presumably different persons. So there are cases of that. The reason why I don't think that in the case of Islam is because of the Muhammad interactions with Muslims and Christians and Jews.
All right. So let's see here. Do you want to tackle this, Cleve, or no?
Many religions have creator gods. Is it possible for a false deity to pose as the creator to steal worship, such as the Canaanite god El? Well, the entire principle is that if you willfully reject Jesus Christ, you willfully reject the Trinity, you're not worshiping the same God. If you're worshiping some kind of pagan god or something, your worship is actually going to a demon. If you're actually referencing the Canaanite, what was that previous super chat, JP? You said the Canaanite god, or whatever. The gods, let's just say the Canaanite like pantheon of gods or whatever. The Old Testament's actually very clear. The gods of the nations are demons. So.
All right. Danny, what's your thoughts on John 8:37:45?
Can you pull that up for me? Yeah. Okay, that was that's Romans. Yeah.
Oops.
Oops.
37.
Okay, enough of this debate.
See, 37 to 40.
I just want to listen to their arguments. No commentary. I'm being boring. I'm tired. Key item. I don't know what's going on. Are none of the bosses going to come out or what?
Why not embrace our path now?
Did I break the game? Or have I not got to another boss yet? I'm confused.
Buddhists are unwelcome in the land.
Buddhists are unwelcome. It's Buddhism. That's Buddhist racism. That's Buddhism. I'm going to tell people you enabled cheats to get rid of that whole thing. I did not. I don't know what happened. Hopefully it'll be there when I go back. Well, I mean, if you look at the map, here where the boss is, I thought there was nowhere else I could go. I didn't realize there was another path over here. So this path has been open the whole time. So technically I could have went and cleared this stuff out before killing him, but I thought that was the only way I could go. So we are gonna, hopefully he'll be back at some point. I gotta go soon, but I was gonna try to find the next boss. So then the next time we play, we could just go to the Dust Veil. But I thought he was a requirement to get the Dust Veil. Nope, here's a boss. Because if this is like the final game boss, the Dust Veil is optional. I don't know if it's missable. I think you can always go back and fight him. I hope I didn't just start like the end of the game boss. I mean, not the end of the game boss, but the end of the... That's the Dust Veil. Where's Jeremy when we need him? taking damage right now. Whoa. Wait. The Scorpion King is fighting him. But I didn't beat the Scorpion Lord yet. Wait, do I gotta fight the Scorpion Lord too? Can I let them fight each other? Scorpion Lord's helping me. See, we're supposed to beat the Scorpion Lord, and then the Scorpion Lord helps us kill Dustveil. Dustveil's dead, first try. Where's Jeremy? Yeah, I don't know what happened, but see, what's supposed to happen is you kill him and then you... So I don't know if I'm going to get to fight him again. Oh, wait, the Dustveil's not just one phase. The Dustveil's like 3 phases. I'm like, this was easy. Oh, no, wait. Together at last, the Scorpions united. That was his wife. Dustveil's not dead yet. Oh, shit. Oh, he's got a weapon now. You getting fucked up, Dustvale. First try, Dustvale, both phases. Let's fucking go. I don't know what was wrong with that scorpion, but something was wrong with that fight. We one-shot the green hat guy. We figured out how to beat the tiger dude, and we beat him in a decent amount of time. Killed the Dustvale first try.
All these years apart.
That stupid scorpion boss fight, if it had never
I've
glitched
marred
out
you like
and
this.
disappeared, I would have never beaten him. I don't know. I don't know what was up with that fight.
I journeyed from Mount Lee to delve into the mysteries of this valley.
I thought you had to fight the scorpion boss
I
to get
didn't
him to
mean
fight
to
with
hold
you
this
on the
back from
Dustvale.
you.
I don't
It
know
was
what
because
happened.
I had to. I stayed my hand for my ties to his mother. That's why I called upon you.
It'd be nice if I can like level up and go back there and get that glitch fixed, because I'm pretty sure, unless there was like some wall that I couldn't get through before, but I remember I could get to that scorpion boss from both sides, so that was not a closed off area. That was just a
But
field
how did
up
you
on
get
a
this?
on
I
a
thought
hill.
It was with the 100-eyed Gwai. This
I
may
whooped the
well be the
100-eyed
design
Gwai's
of
ass.
destiny itself. I shall help you and restore its power. Consider this as my token of gratitude.
Maybe you just got to fight him 1,000 times and lose. Maybe he's unbeatable. I don't know. No, I know he's beatable. I got very close a handful of times.
A few strings dangling from the sky. No one knows whether they lead to weal or woe. Why does everyone vie to scale them?
But I think Yellow Long is the last boss of the chapter. It's 11:13. We might go try Yellow Long because I made some progress. If I get a skill point out of this, we can level up defense. That was all the secret area. Now we can go back to the secret area. I didn't kill him, right? The Dustvale's horn. Now we can make the Dustvale mask. And gold tree core ×2, so we can make some Dustvale armor. And some mine cores, so we can... And double combed rooster blood. I don't know what that is. I don't even remember how I came to this place. Oh, it was through that wall. Is this the only way in or out? What's over there? Oh, that could be like a meditation spot. I fought a boss there to get into there. That was all the secret area of chapter 4. Like, we're not even... I have a feeling there's going to be like a meditation spot over here. soul remigration pill. A lot of iron bull. Is that a meditation spot? Just making sure I check everything. Okay, I think that's everything that's back here. Just looking for secret stuff. Okay, now we leave here, and then what's left? Yellow Long, right? I think Yellow Temple entrance. Yellow Long is up here, right? Standing like right here. Too bad, Jeremy. Yeah, I know. He can't bother me about the stupid Dusk Veil anymore. All right, this guy's no slouch either. See, why is it? Dude, it's so much weaker. Insufficient materials. I have two different types of armor that I can make, but they're all weaker than the armor that I have. Maybe just because, I guess because they haven't been upgraded. I can't make them because I made that mask. Moderately increases movement speed and critical hit chance. I kind of like that instead of this. What are we using right now? Let's use Ice Bat. Is that what we got? No. Why is my bat on cooldown? Oh, I'm almost dead. I forgot. This is a long, so they're... what the trick is for this guy. Probably only going to try him a couple times and then back to the drawing board. I kind of want to go travel over, start the game over and go travel over and see if the scorpion comes out. All right, well, that doesn't work. Well, that didn't work. Oh, it did. He hits hard. I need electricity proof stuff. We need some anti-electricity equipment. Fuck. That was an accident. We got him cornered, man. We were fucking him up.
little too aggressive on my part. This guy. Apparently, this guy is one of the hardest bosses in the game, but he seems easier than that stupid scorpion right now. If I could hit him with this first. Fuck, I keep accidentally letting go of triangle. You're supposed to be able to sprint to dodge that and continue charging your Fuck, I missed that one. All right, I'm going to give him one more shot. I'm going to go. He's doable, but lot of just running around. Run around and you let him charge at you, and then you hit him with a heavy attack. You just keep doing that. Oh, I did get another spark. See, that's that attack. That's dodge. That's a. My pluck of mini guys can't get in here. Maybe I pushed him off the cliff. We're gonna have to start changing our stats every time we get to a boss like this.
G'day everyone. Yellow Long is a very tough boss in Chapter 4. Now I've seen all the discussion online and I know a lot of you have really struggling with him. So today I've got an example that you can copy that is easy to replicate and reliable and repeatable for you to kill this boss with a very low
I think I
skill
watched
run
this. This is
and
the
no
one where you
dodging.
just keep
If you
running,
like my
no
videos with
dodging.
breakdown, I'll do a little bit of that after as well. But I want to give people an easy way to just kill this boss if that's what they're after.
It's gonna
Now, the boss
take
will
4
start once you
hours.
cross these little rocks here. So from behind there, start by taking some crit and damage pellets, whichever the strongest you have. Start charging up for a 3-point heavy attack and release it as you step over those little rocks. If you do that, your first attack will both reach him and interrupt.
That's what I was
his
trying to figure
heads
out.
off. Now this entire strategy revolves around abusing this weird behavior that he does,
Oh,
where
Ring
he
of
just kind of
Fire.
circles you from side to side without actually attacking you until you attack or approach him. Now this is not particularly elegant or clean, nor is it skillful, but all you're going to do
That's
is
what I was
stand in
trying
your
to
ring
do.
of fire, charge up a 3-point heavy attack, smash him with that, and then roll backwards and do it again. Now it's important to keep touching your ring of fire. This is giving you massive focus, increased generation, as well as a little bit of healing in case you trade some of these hits with him, and it also reduces the damage you take. Because we've maxed out the tree, you also got those benefits persisting for a short while after leaving it.
I
Now, as you can
haven't
see here,
I
he's
haven't
nearly
maxed
half
out my
health,
Ring
and I
of
have
Fire
done
tree.
absolutely nothing special so far. Now, once your Ring of Fire ends, you'll have a short period before you can actually use the next one. In this period, I use Cloud Step and basically just wait him out. I don't have any armor that particularly synergizes with heavy attacks, so I'm using the Ebon Silk set so that I can just get a little bit of free cheeky damage like this standing behind him in Cloud Step. You can see those ticks for 30 damage-ish. Now you also want to take the whole Cloud Step tree just to increase the duration mostly, but also you get a little more damage coming out of that Cloud Step attack. As you see, all I did was kick him once back up, and then I'm going to go back into that same cycle of Ring of Fire. You'll only need another 2 or 3 hit before we're in 30%-ish range, and that'll be our kill range. Now, if you've forgotten that relics even existed, go and respec your 3rd relic into In One Breath. This allows you to charge to 4 focus points when standing in Ring of Fire, like you see here. Look at that disgusting crit. That's what you want. We'll look at my build in a second. It is worth noting that you don't always want to do 4 focus points. 3, actually, for most of the fight, is a better tempo and pace that you can get them out without him returning abilities. Alright, now we're in what I would consider kill range here, around 30 to 40% of boss health. Now he does get a little less patient with you, and he will get attacks off here and there. Just dodge backwards or use Cloud Step to avoid those, and at this point we are basically waiting for an opportunity to use a Pluck of Many. Now mana will be a problem because you're using 2 Ring of Fires, a Pluck of Many, and a few Cloud Steps. So you want to be using the Jade Essence drink and the Turtle Tear Soak. If you didn't notice, a moment ago I downed about 4 or 5 drinks from my wine gourd to refill the mana. So once you've done rolling backwards about 12 times in a row and you have a gap, use a Pluck of Many. You want to max out this spell tree as well, because it can seriously carry when you've got all the points in it. Let your illusions do your thing, and you're going to use your transformation here as an extra health bar that you can be a little reckless with, and to just spam some damage. I'm just spamming heavy attacks here. I'm not doing anything particularly special. If you can even bully him into a corner like this, that's actually quite effective. We're not here to be proud, we're here to kill a boss. Use the active ability once you have it available and eke that extra little bit of damage out. And then once that finishes, you're going to back up a little bit, and finally we're going to use our Spirit, Red-Haired Yaksha. It just does a bit of range damage. The main reason we're using it is actually for the considerably increases heavy attack damage, which we've been using the whole fight, obviously. Now, I did also use that needle vessel that you get from Duskvale. If you don't have it, it's fine, but it did just finish the boss there. So as you saw there, I didn't need to do any crazy dodging at all. Alright, just quickly, I've already showed you the spells. For the rest of your spark points, you want to come out the smash dance like this. This is the most important. This gives you a bunch of heavy attack damage and heavy attack charge speed. In Foundation, the most important things first are the damage, the crit damage, and the crit chance over on the right in Survival Tree, and then whatever points left you have, just get a few in the Stamina Tree. I've taken nothing in the light attack tree because we didn't do any. I'm using the Jade Moon Rabbit and the Gold Sun Crow for 3% damage, and the Cat's Eye Beads for 3% crit. So if you're just looking to kill the boss, this will get you through. It'll probably take you a few attempts, but once you get a little bit of RNG and get a bit more...
He's at level
feel for the
86. What level am I at?
you'll get this down in no time. So
I think I'm at
I'm
84.
gonna break down some of the boss's combos and abilities for those of you that
I'm at level
find that helpful,
87.
or if you just want to increase your understanding of the fight. Now I'm going to start with this ability where he does 5 lightning charged dashes at you in a row. The 5th and final strike is always this one here where he leaps up into the air high, and as soon as you see the lightning effect go through his sword, you need to dodge once. Now if you find you keep getting hit by those middle 3 dashes, you may not have realized that there's actually 3 different speeds that he will dash at you, based on the animation that he starts with. You cannot use the same dodge timing for all 3. Now on screen here, I've got 1 of each type, and I've paused them all exactly 1 frame before they start moving. So you'll be able to watch them in real time and see the different activation speeds. But let's see the difference between them first. I'll just move forward a few frames. Alright, now these are what you want to be able to recognize. Starting on the
Yeah,
left there,
once you get him down to about
fastest
40% health, he's in like
and then
phase
straight
2,
up when he's running.
and he gets stronger. We can try that. I don't know if I have all the things that I need. Have the rabbit. I'm not going to do that today, though. I got to go, y'all. I got to go. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know it was a boring stream. I'm just playing some games. I'm tired. I freaking slept on my shoulder weird. It's like every 2 weeks I sleep weird and I'm screwed up for like 2 days. But I'm going to go. I got to get some sleep. Got to go to work tonight. God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll catch you later. Peace.